I would say this. I'd add this, though, Tom. Yes, they showed they built a great team. The organization, you saw where they went from payroll, doing it just right, hitting the accelerator when you really need to, right? Cueto, Zobrist, they got after it. They had that core, all of it, but it took a long time, right? There was extraordinary patience, or maybe it was born of necessity, where Hosmer, Moustakas, Alex Gordon even struggled for years. What are we looking at in the next phase of the Royals?
Yeah, they're in trouble. I mean, again, that's not the Cubs or Astros. That wasn't 5 years. That was more like 6 to 8 years of really rough times. And what I don't see now is a farm system that has ready-made replacements for the core that's on the way out. And maybe one of these guys comes back, the veterans. But I just don't see, pitching-wise especially, that they're in a position now to have a short rebuild, because that's the first thing I look at. When you looked at the Cubs and the Astros, you could see the waves coming. It was a matter of when they were actually ready, but you could see 2 or 3 years that they were coming. I don't see that in the Kansas City system. And they're not going to buy their way back to contention. You can't do that in their market. So, yeah, I think they're going to be down for a while.
Okay. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, there's a natural cycle to team building, usually. You know, most teams are not the Yankees who go decades without a losing season. You build up, you have a few years. The Royals made the most of their peak, and then you head down the other end of the roller cycle. And, you know, I think that they're headed for a rough stretch here. And because it took them so long for Moustakas, for Hosmer, for Gordon, all those guys to gel, I think by the time they got good, you could already look ahead 2 or 3 years and say, uh-oh, things are going to be in trouble at that point. And so now you're looking at them for 2018, and they're kind of in that, you know, White Sox sort of range where you're not expecting much now, but unlike the White Sox, unlike even the Tigers, say, they haven't really embarked on that rebuild yet. They're just starting to talk about it now. They haven't actually taken any concrete steps toward it. So,
good point, yeah.
You know, you had this team that was built on defense and speed and contact hitting, and you always thought, well, how is that going to age? Those are skills that don't typically hold up that well past your 30s, and now they're there. And even if they could afford to hold on to these guys that are free agents right now, I still don't see really the light at the end of the tunnel for quite a few years now.
You know, even though Eric Hosmer is not the big aircraft carrier that Manny Machado or Bryce Harper are going to be next year, I think it could still be helpful that he would go back to the Royals and just kind of, you know, they've got the fans back to the ballpark. It's a very intelligent fan base, and they certainly understand what they are up against. And also they're playing in the AL Central, so they're going to rack up their fair share of wins against the Tigers and against the White Sox and get lucky on a couple of other occasions. So Dayton Moore, with his background in scouting, is going to put together, I think, a decent farm system, but it's not going to happen, as Tom said, overnight. But what I think that they can do is sign some of these lower tier free agents where they really will have their payroll come down, not way down where they want to just put it all into the farm system, but still put a good product out on the field.
Well, there's a question then. All right, if you're advising the front office and they say, hey, you know what? We can get Hosmer for 5 at 100, right? Do you do it?
Yeah, that's a good price for him. I would do that because I do think age is in his favor, and he is a leader, so he'll help the next wave.
Okay, so you like, because that's an allocation of resources, right? To that guy. That's that you could spend otherwise. All right. All right, so I went way too low. 5 and 120. I'm just saying, I want to get to the point where it hurts, but you're saying, no, we really should do it. Because I don't.
But a hometown discount.